They say certificates of deposit, or CDs, are one of the safest and most stable ways to grow your money without taking big risks. And in 2026, one of the names that keeps showing up in this conversation is Wells Fargo. It's a huge bank, with decades of history and millions of customers. But here's the real question. Are Wells Fargo CDs actually worth it this year? Or are there better options out there that could give you more return for the same amount of money? Today, we're breaking that down. What Wells Fargo offers, how their CDs work, the real advantages and disadvantages, and finally my personal verdict, so you can make the smartest decision. Let's start with the basics. Wells Fargo CDs work just like most traditional certificates of deposit. You deposit a fixed amount of money for a fixed term, and in return, the bank guarantees you a stable interest rate for the entire period. It doesn't matter whether market rates go up or down. What they promised is what you'll receive. That gives a lot of peace of mind to people who want stability and don't like surprises. In 2026, Wells Fargo offers several terms, from short-term CDs of a few months to long-term options that last years. They also have promotional CDs with slightly higher rates, but these are usually available only for a limited time, or with certain conditions, like having another account with the bank or opening the CD in a branch. Now let's talk about the most important part, the rates. And this is where many customers hesitate, even though Wells Fargo has improved some of its APYs to stay competitive. The truth is that online banks still tend to offer higher rates, and that difference can add up, especially if you're investing a large amount or choosing a long-term CD. For example, if an online bank offers a noticeably higher APY for the same term, the final return could be much better than what you'd get at Wells Fargo. So if your main goal is to get the best rate on the market, Wells Fargo is probably not going to be your top choice. But hold on, this bank does have strengths. Accessibility is one of them. With Wells Fargo, you can open a CD easily through their app, their website, or by visiting one of their many physical branches. For a lot of people, especially those who aren't fully comfortable with online-only banking, that convenience and in-person support is extremely valuable. Another strong point is safety. CDs are FDIC-insured, meaning your money is protected up to the standard limit even if something happened to the bank. And since Wells Fargo is such a large, established institution, many customers feel even more secure placing their savings there. Of course, there are disadvantages. Early withdrawal penalties are still pretty strict. If you need your money before the term ends, you'll lose part, or sometimes nearly all, of the interest you've earned. So Wells Fargo CDs work best for people who are absolutely sure they won't touch that money until the maturity date. Another thing some users have noticed is that when a CD matures, it can automatically renew at a lower rate if you don't step in and adjust the settings. This can be frustrating for people who don't regularly monitor their accounts. So, who are Wells Fargo CDs truly ideal for in 2026? They're great for people who want simplicity, stability, and the trust of a traditional bank they already know. They work well for anyone who prefers something straightforward, who values customer service, or who already has other accounts at Wells Fargo and wants to keep everything in one place. But if your priority is getting the highest return possible and you're comfortable with online banking, digital CDs will still offer better APYs in most cases. My verdict: Wells Fargo CDs are safe, reliable, and very easy to manage. But they're not the most profitable option on the market. They're excellent for people who prefer the stability and convenience of a physical bank. But if you want to maximize every dollar, you should compare other options before choosing. If this review helped you understand whether a Wells Fargo CD account is worth it in 2026, don't forget to like, comment, or share so others can make informed financial decisions too. The smartest money moves always start with knowledge.